I'm Helga from Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking, and today we're going to make garlic dill refrigerator pickles. And they're going to have a little bit of pepper in them too because we like them spicy. Now, they stay crunchier because you're not actually processing them. We make a brine and they'll go over the pickles, but then the pickles will go in the fridge, hence the refrigerator part. And because they aren't processed, they tend to stay crunchier. Although I still add a little bit of alum, or in this case, extra crunch, which is calcium chloride granules. And that helps keep the crunch too, because nobody wants to have, pickles that aren't nice and crunchy and crisp. Next, we'll talk about pickles, the kind, what to use, what kind of cucumbers you want to use to make pickles. This is important. Like the English cucumbers are great for tea sandwiches and for salads and whatnot, but they have a thin skin, so they're not good for pickling because they can't hold up to it, so they get too mushy. There are certain varieties, they're salad cucumbers, and you don't want to use them for that either because, once again, they don't have a thick enough skin. You want to use more of these guys. They're pickling cucumbers like the Kirby variety, and you want them to be about that size. If they get this size, they got too big, they're going to be awful seedy, and they're not going to be any good for holding up to the pickling. So let's get to it. So what I have fresh dill with the flowers and the dill pieces, vinegar, 1 cup of vinegar, 2 cups of water, my cucumbers, my pickles, the calcium chloride granules, and several fresh cloves of garlic, pickling spice, and kosher salt, and some extra dried dill weed there, and then a long hot banana pepper to give it some spice. And I'm using a half-gallon jar here, which I've sterilized and gotten clean, and we're going to fill that up. Some people do spears, I'm doing slices. I like doing slices because I like putting them on sandwiches, but I also like doing slices for something else that's going to be coming up in my carnival series. Now, before I make my brine, or even cut up my pickles, I'm going to throw a few bit of fresh dill here, and I'm just going to put this into the jar to the bottom, and also a couple cloves of garlic. There we go. So you can see that down there, and then I'm going to work on slicing my pickles, and we'll make the brine. Make our brine, we'll add the water and then the vinegar and salt and some pickling berries. And we're going to let this come up to a boil. Now I'm just going to show you how we layer this in. I cut up my hot pepper here, and we're going to throw some layers of cucumbers down in. That's the other thing I like doing it this way. You can get more in the jar and they get packed more. Try and get them kind of evenly dispersed there. Add a little bit more dill. Add another clove of garlic. Throw in a couple pepper pieces. And we'll throw in some more cucumber. It also makes for a really pretty jar. Try and get down the sides here. And wide mouth is nicer because if you need to, you can kind of get them down in there. And a little bit more dill. And another garlic clove. And some more hot pepper that's seeded. and keep repeating until you fill up the jar. And then we'll add our brine. Okay, my jar is full. That was probably about 8 of those 3 to 4 inch pickles. So that gives you an idea. And this is a ½ gallon mason jar. So let's get to our brine. Okay, our brine's come to a boil, and right before the end, I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of the alum. Make sure it dissolves like that. And that's it. Now we're going to pour this over our pickles in our jar. Be careful, this is very hot. Here it is, all full, and I packed her pretty good. See her? And we're gonna cap this and put this in the fridge. The quickest you want to try these is like 5 days. So we'll come back for part 2 of our pickles next week. So, it's been about a week for my pickles here, for the garlic dill spicy. So let's open them up and see how they did. There they are. There we go. But you know how it goes. It's always in whether they're crunchy, whether they're good. Still got some of the dill on it. Oh man. Hear that crunch? Mmm. Ooh, they got a little zip to them with those hot peppers in there. Oh man. Good. See how crunchy they are? A little piece of onion, pepper. That's a good crunchy pickle. These are so easy. I just let them sit a week in there. You can do this with a lot of different kinds of pickles. I just like making the dill and garlic spicy ones, but they're really yummy. And the longer they sit, the more that flavor goes through them, and the more that spice goes through them. So if you like hot stuff, be careful how you gauge it, because it intensifies the longer it goes. But it's really good. My garlic, spicy dill pickles, refrigerator pickles. Really good. See how nice the color is and crunchy. Great way to use up those cucumbers from the garden. I can make other kinds. I still got more to do, and I'm going to do some bread and butter ones and give it a try. See what you think. Like I said, I'm going to do some bread and butter ones here soon. But these were important for the next recipe I'm doing next week. Going back to the carnival series. Oh yeah, these are the key ingredient for the next dish. So stay tuned and eat your pickles. Like, subscribe, and join me next time here in Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking.